Official, the wait is over. Barcelona has just made its fans' dream come true. After months of anticipation, speculation, and hope, the club has finally delivered a blockbuster announcement that has sent shockwaves across the football world. Whether it's a superstar signing, a long-awaited renewal, or the return of a legend, Barça fans everywhere are celebrating like never before. Joan Laporta and Deco pulled off what many thought was impossible, and now the Camp Nou is buzzing with energy again. What exactly happened? Who's coming in? And why is this moment being called the beginning of a new golden era? Get ready, because this is the news every Cole has been dreaming of. Well, Barcelona fans, it's official. Joan Garcia is now a Barcelona player. The Catalan Giants have activated the €25 million release clause of the 23-year-old goalkeeper, bringing him in as part of Hansi Flick's plans for next season. And the move didn't just hit the headlines because of the money involved. This signing could genuinely shape the future of the club's goalkeeping department. Now, you might be wondering why so many Coolers are excited about a backup goalkeeper, when all the attention is usually on flashy wingers or midfield maestros. But this is no ordinary signing. Joan Garcia is not just depth, he's a statement. Barcelona are planning ahead, and if you're paying attention, you can already see the blueprint. Let's break down what makes this deal so significant, what Garcia brings to the table, how he compares to Marc-Andre ter Stegen, and what this means for Barcelona in both the short and long term. First, let's talk about who Joan Garcia really is. Born in 2000 in Sabadell, just a short drive away from Camp Nou, Garcia has been on the radar of top clubs in Spain for a few years now. He developed through the youth ranks at Espanyol and quickly caught attention for his composure, shot-stopping ability, and surprisingly mature decision-making under pressure. He's not the type to make the highlight reel with flashy dives every 5 minutes, but what he does bring is calm reliability, and that's something elite clubs crave, especially between the sticks. Last season at Espanyol, Garcia was one of the standout performers in the Segunda División. Even as the team fought for promotion, he was frequently their best player on the pitch. In fact, he was often credited with keeping the team in games they had no business staying in. With over 100 professional appearances under his belt already at just 23, he has far more experience than most keepers his age. And that's crucial, especially in high-pressure environments like Barcelona. Now, about that €25 million release clause. At first glance, it may seem like a steep price for a player who hasn't yet made a name on the international stage. But when you consider the inflated market for quality goalkeepers and the fact that Barcelona are buying both present value and long-term potential, it actually looks like smart business. The deal was wrapped up quickly, with all formalities completed at the La Liga offices earlier today. No drawn-out negotiations, no last-minute drama. Barcelona were decisive, which is something fans haven't always seen from their board in recent years. But why now? Why would Barcelona make this move when Marc-Andre ter Stegen is still very much in his prime? Well, here's the context. Ter Stegen is 32 and has had a few injury setbacks in the last 2 seasons. While he remains one of the top goalkeepers in world football, the club knows that transition planning is essential. This is especially true when you're operating under tight financial constraints like Barcelona currently are. Rather than wait for a crisis, the club is preparing early. Garcia's signing is part of a wider strategy to refresh the squad intelligently and sustainably. And don't underestimate the impact of Hansi Flick's arrival either. The German manager is known for valuing structured, proactive squads, where every position has a backup capable of stepping in without disrupting the system. Garcia fits that vision. He's not just a bench warmer, he's coming to compete. According to sources close to the club, Flick has already had conversations with Garcia about his role, and there's a belief internally that he could challenge ter Stegen in certain competitions like the Copa del Rey and even rotate in the Liga or Champions League group stages. Stylistically, Garcia is interesting. While ter Stegen is lauded for his incredible footwork and his ability to serve as a pseudo-sweeper, Garcia brings a slightly different profile. He's more traditional in some ways, more of a penalty box shot stopper than a roaming keeper, but he's been steadily improving his ball distribution, especially under pressure. At Espanyol, he was often asked to play out from the back, and he handled that responsibility with growing confidence. In fact, many analysts have compared his trajectory to that of Unai Simon, Spain's current number one. Both are physically imposing, sharp reflex-wise, and increasingly comfortable in possession. Garcia also benefits from excellent positioning. He doesn't often dive for the cameras because he doesn't need to. He reads the game well and is rarely caught off his line. For Barcelona, who tend to dominate possession but are always vulnerable to quick counters, that type of awareness is priceless. Let's talk about fan reaction, because this is where it gets really interesting. Coolers across social media are thrilled, not just because of Garcia's talent, but because of what it symbolizes. In recent years, Barcelona have been criticized for short-term thinking, making panic buys, and relying too heavily on veterans without planning for the future. This signing flips that script. It's a strategic, data-driven move that shows Barcelona are once again thinking like a top-tier European club. And then there's the local angle. Garcia is a Catalan native, and that matters. Barcelona fans love seeing homegrown or local talent thrive at the club. It builds identity, it builds loyalty, and it reinforces the club's commitment to nurturing players with a deep connection to the region. With Garcia, you're not just getting a skilled keeper, you're getting someone who understands what it means to wear the blaugrana. Now, what does this mean for Barcelona's squad planning and registration? That's a key question, especially with La Liga's tight financial fair play regulations. The €25 million for Garcia was structured cleanly thanks to the release clause. That means there was no prolonged haggling, and the payment didn't require Barcelona to go deep into negotiations over personal terms or bonuses. But that also means Barcelona had to ensure room in the wage structure to register him without running afoul of salary cap restrictions. Luckily, the club has been working on several outgoing transfers and contract restructurings to create room. Garcia's wage demands were reportedly modest compared to other targets, which made him an even more appealing option. And from a sporting perspective, he's viewed as a low-risk, high-reward investment. If he performs well, he could be the starter for the next decade. If he doesn't quite live up to expectations, he'll still hold resale value because of his age and passport status. Let's not forget that Barcelona have struggled in recent years to find reliable backup options in goal. Nato was serviceable but never convincing. Iñaki Peña has had his moments but hasn't consistently proved he can handle the pressure. Garcia's arrival solves that dilemma while also setting the stage for a potential baton handoff when the time comes. Garcia is also expected to be called up to the Spanish national team more regularly now that he's playing for a top club. Luis de la Fuente, Spain's head coach, has already mentioned him in passing when discussing the next generation of keepers. With more visibility at Barcelona, don't be shocked if Garcia becomes a key name in Spain's Euro 2028 plans.